In this video, we will be making a table for an exponential function. Okay, so our first exponential function is defined by the following rule: f of x is equal to 5 to the power of x. So anytime you have an x that's up here in the exponent, this is going to be an exponential function. Okay, and it wants us to plug in these values into x and find those values. Okay, so we will do that. So for the first one, it says plug in a -2. So I'll do the work over here. So 5 to the -2 power. Okay, anything with a negative exponent, you can make it positive by changing the place that it is in the fraction. Now, I know there's no fraction here, but consider this. Everything can be divided by 1, right? So it is a fraction, and you take it to the bottom and it becomes positive. Okay, we know 5 squared is 25, so you get 1 over 25. Okay, so that's our first answer, 1 over 25. Okay, second one, -1. So 5 to the -1. Again, you can put a 1 underneath and flip this thing and make it 1 on top and 5 to the 1 on bottom. And 5 to the 1 is just 5. So this is 1/5. Okay, I'm going to write it right here so you can see it easier. Okay, on the 0, so 5 to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, there is one exception to that rule, by the way. 0 to the 0 power, that doesn't have any meaning. That's undefined. Okay, that's the only thing that if you raise it to the 0 power, you won't get 1. Okay, to the 1 power, so 5 to the 1 power is equal to 5. So there we go. Okay, and then 5 to the 2 power is equal to 25. So that's our final answer. There we go. So we filled in the table. Okay, and those would correspond to points, by the way. Let's write them underneath here. So this point would be -2 and 1 over 25 on the graph. Okay, this would be -1 and 1/5 on the graph. This would be 0, 1 on the graph. This would be 1, 5. And then this would be 2, 25. Okay, let's do one more of those. Okay, this function is defined by this rule: g of x is equal to 1/10 to the x. So this time we have a fraction on the inside. We still have the x up here in the exponent, which makes this an exponential function. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm plugging in these numbers into that x. So for the first one, I'm plugging in a -1 in place of x. So it'd be 1 over 10 to the -1. Okay, now what I can do to make that a positive 1 is just flip this fraction. I can make it 10 over 1 to the positive 1, and now both of these 1's are meaningless. Dividing by 1 doesn't do anything, and raising something to the 1 doesn't do anything, so that's just 10. Okay, so 10, plug in a -1, and you got a 10. That's our x and y right there. Okay, let's see, we plug in a 0, so it'll be 1 over 10 to the 0, and as we said a minute ago, everything that's raised to the 0 power is 1, with the exception of 0, which is not what happened here. So that is an answer of 1. Okay, raise it to the 1 power, so you get 1 over 10 to the 1 power, which is just 1 over 10. Okay, the 2, okay, so 1 over 10 to the 2 power. You could do this in 2 different ways. You could say it's 1 over 10 times 1 over 10, because that's what it means to square something, right? Which would be 1 times 1, which is 1, and then 10 times 10 is 100. You could have also said 1 squared divided by 10 squared. 1 squared is 1, 10 squared is 100. So either way you want to do that, you get 1 over 100 for that answer. Okay, and then our last one, 3. So 1 over 10 to the power of 3. Okay, so I'll do it the exponent way. So it'll be 1 to the third. I'm distributing the exponent over 10 to the third. Okay, so 1 to the third is still 1. 10 to the third is 10 times 10 times 10, right? 10 times 10 is 100, times another 10 is 1,000. So 1 over 1,000. Okay, and I forgot to write down these points. So this one would be 0, 1. This one would be 1, 1/10. 2, 1, 100th. 3, 1, 1,000. And that's it.